Hey everybody, hope all is well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some advice in choosing a job in life after school. Whether that be you just graduated from high school, you just graduated from college, you're not really sure what to do next. The information that I'm going to share in this video is something that I think I would have found a ton of value in when I was younger. So I wanted to put this together with the hope of helping others. Again, the reason why my brother and I started this channel, number one and most importantly, was to spread the word of God. But number two was to provide mentorship for those who are looking for advice. A lot of times I think people are looking to get advice from different people, and the church talks about the Bible, and a lot of times it's separate from, just life, career, general advice. And so the hopes of this channel was to mesh it all together and really provide Christian biblical mentorship and applying that in life, in business, relationships, and all areas of our life. So hopefully you guys find value in the message. If you do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend. And so I'll give you guys some context on the different jobs that I worked and my opinion on choosing a career. So starting off, my whole life revolved around football, basically up until college, right? I wanted to go play in the league. Obviously didn't end up playing in the NFL, but thought that I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach because I love being around football. I love being around football guys. And so I went and interned for my old strength coaches from Syracuse up at Kent State in Ohio. Rented a place for $300 a month. It was a complete junk box. Worked crazy hours, as if any of you guys are familiar with interning or being a graduate assistant for college sports, it's definitely a grind. And this isn't a video to complain about that, but it's more of a video to say, listen, I did that. I realized that it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I also had no idea what I wanted to do. So graduate from college, didn't have a job lined up, but my dad had a demolition company. So I worked as a laborer, working anywhere from 8 to 16-hour days. I was in the mix. I wasn't just the owner's son kicking back and chilling. I was probably the hardest working guy out there. From there, I was doing a ton of interviews in all different fields: insurance, sales, finance, really anybody that would take me in for an interview. I knew that it was going to take a ton of practice, really, so I was taking every interview that I could to try and hone in on my skills. And then I ended up working for a company and accepting a job for Thomson Reuters, which was my last role. I worked in software sales, selling to banks, private equity, venture capital, and it was a great experience. I did that for a little over 5 years, and now I'm working in private equity, mergers and acquisitions on the deal side. So basically putting deals together for private equity firms. And so the reason why I share all this is because I think I have a pretty unique experience. I've been through some different lines of work, obviously, completely different walks of life with the people that I've worked with. And I think based on that, I have a pretty unique opinion that I can share with you. Because one of the things that I've heard most often when I was seeking advice from former alumni, so my senior fall and senior spring, I was doing a ton of networking and trying to connect with as many people as I could to really get their advice. And the biggest piece of advice that I was getting at that time was probably to do something that I love, find something that I was passionate about. And at that time, I had no idea what I was passionate about. My whole life was football. And I think that's probably the case for most people in college, most people in high school. They're not really sure what they're passionate about, what they love to do. And so the advice that I would give is to just get started and then become obsessed with whatever it is that you're starting in. And so there's 3 Bible verses that I want to kick this video off with. The first is Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 through 24. It says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." The second is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. It says, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might." And the last is Philippians chapter 4, verses 11 through 13. It says, "I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And so the reason why I bring up these verses is because nowhere does it say in the Bible to follow your passion, do what you love, or if it doesn't make you happy, to walk away. It actually says the opposite. Our flesh craves and desires things that are against the Word of God. So we clearly can't listen to what our feelings say. I recently made a video talking about if we allowed our emotions and our feelings to dictate our actions, our life would be a roller coaster. And the same applies with choosing a career. If we solely chose a career based on what we felt we loved, it's going to fluctuate up and down every day. One day we may love it, one day we may hate it. Does that mean you quit the day that you hate it? I would say not necessarily. And obviously, again, everybody has different opinions, but again, based on my experiences and working in different fields, I would say the most important thing is to get started with something, and that can be anything, and then become absolutely obsessed with whatever it is that you're doing. Learn everything from A to Z, because when you do that, not only are you glorifying God most importantly, but number two, you're learning the business. And when you learn the business from A to Z, you become a very important asset. And so to give you guys some context here, when I started off with Thomson Reuters, I came to the table with zero sales experience. But what I did do was I sought out mentorship. I found a great mentor who basically taught me the sales process, the product, the reason why people were buying. I read books, I listened to podcasts. I basically became obsessed with trying to become the best sales rep possible. And by year two, I think I was 23 years old, I was named Sales Rep of the Year. And so I went from coming to the table again with zero experience to, by year two, end of year two, becoming Sales Rep of the Year. And the reason for that is because I really dedicated everything to becoming the best rep that I possibly could be. And so now what I'll say is that when you work your tail off in whatever it is that you're doing, opportunities will present themselves. So while I was working at Thomson Reuters, there were a number of opportunities that came up where when I was trying to sell, people were offering me jobs. And I was content at the time at Thomson Reuters. Now I'm working in investment banking, private equity, on the deal side, as I had mentioned. If it wasn't for going all in at Thomson Reuters and really understanding the clients that I was selling to, the reason why they were buying, then this opportunity probably wouldn't have presented itself, because I was selling to private equity, venture capital, and it was specific to their due diligence process. And through that, I realized that this was something that I wanted to get into. It was something that interested me. I wanted to get on the side of putting deals together, and that's what I'm doing now. But if it wasn't for going all in at Thomson Reuters, then I don't know if this opportunity would have presented itself. Ultimately, whatever it is that you choose to do, when you go all in, you're shaping and molding yourself to become an asset to that company. When you become an asset to that company, opportunities will present itself to you at that company as well as outside of that company. And maybe you want to venture off to another route, or maybe you want to stay within the company that you're at and just kind of move up the rankings. Or maybe you want to go out and try and do it on your own. When you learn everything from A to Z, it just gives you that much more ammo to go and do whatever it is that your end goal is. And so I wanted to share this video because, again, I think, from when we're really young, our parents, our friends, our mentors, a lot of times the advice that we get is to do what you love. And again, that's, for me, not the greatest advice, because that's going to fluctuate. There were days that I loved playing football, and there were days that I hated playing football. And if on those days where I hated playing football, I decided to quit, I never would have earned a Division I scholarship, went to school for free, and probably wouldn't have wound up where I am today, which I'm very thankful for. So again, the biggest thing I would say is not allowing your feelings or emotions to dictate your actions. The most important thing is to get started in something and become absolutely obsessed with becoming the best that you possibly can be in whatever it is that you're doing, so that you just become the most valuable asset at whatever it is that you're doing. And so hope that you guys found value in this message. Again, if you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, leave feedback. I would love to hear any thoughts or questions that you guys have. Make sure to reach out if you do. I'm always more than happy to help. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your time.